Wrath. The level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that.
So, from comparing spell batching to a barber shop and the exclusion of random dungeon finder, what do we know about Wrath of the Lich King? We 100% know they wanted us to think it was coming in 2023, but it's actually coming in 2022. And we know far too much about the Death Knight. Things about the Death Knight that I personally would have rather have forgot. So if you didn't just watch live, with literally, you can see the full live stream on the channel, but I thought I'd just do a little bit of a breakdown now following the live stream before I then go live on twitch.tv/Scottejaye87. Yeah, shameless plug, but I'll probably go live on there again for a few beers and a little bit of badge farming on TBC. But what do we actually know? So we know 100% that we're getting Wrath of the Lich King, and we know 100% that we're getting it now in 2022. It done a funny little animation that I'll show you now where it looked like it was going to be 2023, but then really quickly morphed into a 2. Which, bit of a strange thing to do. I mean, we've just had, let's look at the facts. We know at the beginning of May, the Arena Season 3 finishes, and we've already had the first sort of testing on the PTR. So we know it's going to be about 4 weeks from now, roughly, when we get Sunwell anyway. So it's inevitable that Wrath of the Lich King is going to be this year. Whether it's going to be September, October, November, or December, yeah, all right, that's open to speculation. I don't think it's going to be December. I don't think it's going to be November anymore. But definitely September, October. It's going to be one of those, I would say. But then they went full out and just went really weird and said this.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some time before Wrath officially launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
So we've got a new hero class that back in the day, you needed to get to 55, at least, to be able to start a DK, which, forget the pre-patch business. You know, whether it's in the pre-patch or not, I personally prefer it wasn't in the pre-patch. I don't think it belongs in the pre-patch, but let's take that aside. You don't need to get to 55 anymore. You can literally start a brand new starter account or whatever. Just pay your £10 to actually start an account and start a DK at 55 instantly. And it was all part of the whole inclusion, you know, so people are not left behind. They can just start and they start a DK. That's just not on, in my opinion. That is so ridiculous. Even private servers make you get to 55. Private servers that have times 7 XP. Some have like times 12. You can pay for double XP, so you get like times 12 and stuff like that. You know, ridiculously accelerated XP. But you still need to do that 1 to 55 before you can start a DK, because the DK's got some meaning. You're not meant to be able to just create an account and start a DK straight away at level 55, because you do your starting zone, boom, you're level 58, you're into Outlands. Like, that does not sit well with me at all. And I know some of you will be flaming me in the comments already, saying, no, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, that's nice. Get everyone involved. Wait, you know, let's dance around, like, skipping, holding hands. It's each to their own. Like, I don't think they belong in the pre-patch, let alone just being able to start a DK without even needing to have another character that gets to 55. Like, just not on at all. The biggest comment that really made me laugh is the comparison of a barbershop to spell batching.
We're going to be adding a few more options that were not existing when Wrath launched, but also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do, that just be available in-game for gold, and we add more options to it, right?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense.
I mean, that's chalk and cheese. They're two completely different systems. You know, like, spell batching almost was like, not game breaking, but it wasn't ideal, was it? Like, spell batching, as we remember it back in the day, to the technology that we work with today, that's a little bit different to being able to make your character look differently. And like the whole, well, yeah, but we're not going to charge you. We're not going to charge you for that, but you can. I'm making this sound like bad news. It's not bad news. Wrath has been announced. We are getting Wrath of the Lich King. This is the best news that I personally have had probably in the last, I'd say, since I found out my wife was pregnant nearly 5 years ago. But that's nothing to do with it either. The fact is, we're getting Wrath of the Lich King, but it's like, yeah, we're removing monetization from like being able to customize your character, and we're going to add extra options into the into the like barber shop, which we're great. That's fantastic. But what about random dungeon finder?
So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Now, I completely understand that Random Dungeon Finder is one of those that will split the audience. Some of you are like, no, we definitely want it. The people that definitely want it probably have been playing on private servers. Those who don't want it probably play Classic, Classic or TBC. Coming in at the very last phase, you don't get that long of it. And by the time Random Dungeon Finder comes in, you no longer really need it anymore. Yeah, you're going to use it. But the time that it will be used the most is at the start of the expansion, and the fact that they can't balance their servers. Like faction-wise, they can't balance their servers. Now, the dead servers that struggle getting groups for anything are still going to struggle getting groups for anything. Whereas if they put Random Dungeon Finder in, especially if it was cross-server, they're alleviating some of their own problems themselves by putting it in. Instead, they're listening to, I don't want to say Classic Andes, but it's fact. The guys that have, started playing during vanilla in 2019 and now TBC, they're a different breed to what, those that have been all the way through or halfway through the journey of retail already and know that actually Dungeon Finder isn't a bad thing, because your goal is to get a group together really fast, go and clear a dungeon for whatever the reason is, whether it's badges or emblems or whatever, and that's it. You're not there for a social experiment. You're not there to make friends, or I'm not. I don't go in a dungeon and I'm like, all right, mate, do you have a little chat? Do you want to be friends? I'll add you to my friends list. I've never done that in a dungeon. I can't tell you the last time I went in a dungeon and physically added any one of those people to my friends list. You may do that, but I don't. I just want to get my badges or get my daily heroic done in TBC without staring at LFG bulletin board, without staring at looking for group chat. And just go in, get it done, and then that's it. I can log off, or I can go and do something else on one of my alts, or whatever. So, not putting Random Dungeon Finder in at the start, for me, not a good move. But overall, Wrath of the Lich King, come in 2022, maybe 2023. Maybe they thought that's what it was. That's why they done that at the start. I don't know. But to all you guys that joined me on the live stream when we watched it, thank you so much. It was great. It's quite a short video because it was fairly vague, but I'll roll the outro, and thank you to all you guys in the scrolling banner below that have joined the channel as a member. I didn't need to say that because the outro was going to say it. So, outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.